Hello, today it's all going to be about sound design, and let's dive in. Let's look at some of the sounds I did for my team that they asked me to do, and I want to go into detail and talk about how I did these specific sounds. Let's start with this explosion. This sounds okay for an 8-bit explosion. Remember, we are not talking about realistic sound, and that's exactly the point. There is no boom. It's kind of a glitch, kind of noise, and in fact it was done with noise. But let's try to mess around. Let's make a different sound. Let's randomize some of the stuff here. Let's see if we can recreate this kind of explosion. So now it sounds like this. It's not an explosion, it's actually the opposite. It's like it's loading, but explosions don't load, they just happen. So that means that we need a very short attack, in this case even no attack, because we want a very strong immediate noise. And that's already better, but we need a decay. In this case the sustain is at the maximum, and so it doesn't provide the proper effect. Let's try like this. Okay, we're getting closer, but it doesn't really sound like an explosion, it's just noise with an envelope. And here we have these options that become really useful in this case. Right now we are using a plain white noise, but we have these other options here which I don't really know what they mean. They're probably based on some old hardware technology, but they make some really cool noise. Okay, we're getting closer. It doesn't sound like an explosion anyway, and that's probably because of the pitch bend. We want it to be something like the pitch envelope of a kick drum, where it goes up immediately and then goes down pretty fast. At least that's what I had in my head. So let's make the bend time much shorter, like this. Okay, that makes sense. That's closer to an 8-bit explosion, but the pitch is going actually in the opposite direction than what I did before. So let's try like this. Okay, now it goes up and then down. That's close enough to the one that I did before. Let's compare because I have recorded it. Yes, this one is actually probably a better envelope because it lasts a bit longer, but we can work on that. I will not do it right now. I don't want to bother you with these details. But in another specific sound, details are very important, and I'm talking about this UFO hovering sound. I wanted a very specific sound which sounded like a loop, like a continuous sound that repeated without ever stopping. And so what I had to do here is make the envelope match exactly the duration of the sound. If we look at this MIDI here, it's actually 4 of them, but we only care about one, so it's 1/4. Let's select this quarter here, and as you can see in the bottom left of my screen, or maybe you cannot see it because it's cut, this section here is actually long 0.373 seconds. If you look at the envelope and you sum the attack and the decay, which are the whole duration of the sound since there is no sustain and no release, that's exactly the number, and it's the same number as the time of the pitch bend, and this is the result. So it's a very specific sound. It goes up and then down. As soon as it reaches 0, it goes back up and it continues. If I did any changes to the envelope, we would get a different result. We would have a pause in this case. If we made it longer, if we made the decay longer, we would never go back to 0. And I don't know if you can hear it, but there is also a clipping sound, because of course we don't hit 0, but we begin the next sound. So in some cases it's very important to match the exact duration, and we could even do this with the vibrato. Maybe I will try that later, because I did it kind of by ear and not looking at the numbers. being very accurate is something that can be very, very important when doing sound design. So that's what I wanted to show for today. I actually have many more sounds, but they have been done with pretty much the same process, so I will not go into detail about that. Thank you for listening. Bye.